Hi guys, how are you? It is day 2. It is a wonderful, beautiful Tuesday. So guys, I got this new perfume from Walgreens, and it's actually inspired by Victoria's Secret. So since I haven't been able to go to Victoria's Secret and get my favorite perfume, this perfume from Walgreens actually smells exactly like the perfume that I love. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and spray it. Woo! That smells so good, guys. Okay, that's just a little hint. It may be on your exit ticket, so if you watch the video, you'll know. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and get started. We are continuing our journey with myths, fables, and tall tales. So this is the part in the lesson where if you have not done your PDN, you can pause the video, do it, and then come back. If you have, then we're just going to go ahead and continue. So let's go ahead and get my handy dandy marker. Alright guys, actually that one is not, I'm going to do this one. So this is another group of questions that may or may not be on like your map test, right? So we're just going to continue to go through these questions and see what we've learned throughout the year, okay? So let's go to the question first so we can kind of see what we need to look for. It says this passage is an example of what type of writing. And so that could be a little bit more straight. And so when it says what type of writing, they're asking like what genre. We see fiction, fantasy, nonfiction, legend. So let's read through to try to figure out what genre this may be. It says learning to read is important for everyone. So it seems like learning to read is definitely a topic of what the passage is about. It's not a character, it's not a setting, or it's not written in story form. Okay, so since it's not written in a story form, I can automatically X out A and B because fantasy and fiction are like stories that are being told. It says reading is important if you want to learn how to put something together. Some people read for fun, but everyone needs to read if they want to be successful in getting a job. And so it seems like this is like an article talking about how important reading is. And we know that articles have real facts. Nonfiction has facts, true facts. And so nonfiction is definitely the type of writing. And we haven't even gone over legends, okay? Definitely the type of writing that this is. So let's go ahead and move on. It says this is actually an analogy, and this is something that we have not talked about in 4th grade yet. I'm not sure if Miss Fabi talked about it with you. If she did, then that's awesome. But analogies is basically when you kind of like compare and contrast two different things. You see how either how they are similar or either how they are different. So lead is to pencil. I know that a lead is what writes from a pencil, right? And so ink is to what? What is used? What ink is written from what? So like a pencil writes in lead. What writes in ink? And so I know that the only thing here that is used to write is pens, and we know that pens write in ink. Okay. Good. Let's go ahead and continue. Number 3 is actually another analogy. It says bird is to fly. So I know that birds fly. Fish is to swim. Fish swim. So it's basically talking about what they do. And so boy is to what? What do boys do? Do boys play, talk? Like how do they, and it's really not like what they do, but it's like how do they travel, right? So birds travel from one place to another by flying. Fish travel from one place to another by swimming. Boys travel from one place to another, of course, by walking. Okay? So you have to be really specific to try to figure out what that analogy is asking you to do. So next, number 4. Let's go to the question. It says these sentences all are about what? So we have to figure out what is this story telling us. It says Tony, that's a character, likes to eat pizza. I'm going to underline that because it's telling me something about Tony. His mom, that's a character, says he would eat it every day if she let him. So that's another clue about Tony. He loves pizza. He would eat it every day if he wanted to. Tony thinks pepperoni pizza is the best. Even though he likes pizza, Tony never eats the crust, okay? So that's pretty much, I think, basically the entire passage is telling me about how much Tony loves pizza, right? So when I look at these answer choices, I can eliminate all of these because none of these are really talking about like how Tony loves pizza. A is the only one that talks about what the passage is mostly about. Tony likes to eat pizza, okay? Now let's move on to number 5. I'm actually just going to go ahead and do that because so that all of our answers can fit. Okay, the words above are used for. So let's not even worry about the words above. In your Google form, it may be the words above, so don't even worry about it. The words above are used for what? So when we think about these words, hook, worm, rod, reel, all of these words remind you of what? I know they don't remind me of playing, right? They don't remind me of skating. They don't remind me of flying. I know that a hook is something that a fish or a worm is attached to in order to catch fish. So all of these words remind me of fishing, okay? Good. So let's go ahead and move on. Oh, guys, that perfume smells so good. I think I'm going to go ahead and spray some more. Okay. Let's go ahead and keep on moving along. So guys, remember I told you yesterday that this week we're pretty much going through all of our prefixes or most of our prefixes and suffixes that we have learned. So we're doing a review. Pre is a prefix that we learned, which is before, right? Let's go ahead and read through this explanation. The keyword predict has 2 meaningful parts. It has pre, meaning before, which is a suffix, and it has dict, which means to say. So the word predict is basically put together by a prefix and a suffix, and it creates one word. To predict, you have to say before or to tell something in advance before it happens. So the directions. Use your knowledge of the root pre to put the word from the word bank into the blanks below. So we basically have to use these words to try to figure out where and fill in the blank of these sentences, okay? All right, so the words we have are preview, prehistoric, prefix, prevent, and precipices. All right, a meaningful part that appears before the root of a word is called a what? We went over this all last week before that. That is, of course, a prefix, okay? And we can go ahead and X that out. Next, before I pay to see a movie, I want to find out something about seeing its what. So when you're at the movies and you're looking at what movies are coming out, you're watching the previews. Yes. And we can go ahead and X that out. So now it's pretty much processed by elimination because we have 3 left. And so we're going to use our schema from what we know about the prefix pre and what we know about the root word to try to figure out what these words are. Okay? 3. The years before people kept any written records were called blank time. So when we think about the years before, I think about history. When I think about stuff that happened in the past, I'm talking about history, right? And so in my mind, anything that was happening before we wrote it down are like prehistoric times. Okay? Good. So we have prevent left and we have precipices. I don't even know why I included that word. Precipices? I don't know. Precedes? Is that supposed to be precedes? Okay. before. Before the bride walks down the aisle, the flower girl precedes her. Yeah, so that's the. I knew that was weird. I'm like, okay, yes, precedes. So precedes means to go before. So we know that the flower girl always goes before the bride. Okay. All right. Is it precedes? I guess that is how you spell it. Oh, y'all need to slap Miss Simmons. Is that how you spell precedes? I did not know that. Okay. Or maybe I knew it. Maybe my mind is just all over the place. I'm sorry, y'all. That was just so crazy. Okay. Before they get sick, y'all know Miss Simmons is just cut me some slack. Okay. Before they get sick, children receive vaccines to prevent many serious illnesses. Okay. This is when you guys like got the chickenpox vaccine, or when you were little, you had to get all of those shots. Okay. All right, guys. So good job with the vocab work. Let's move on to our board equals paper. Okay. So we're still talking about genres. Okay. And so we know that there are two main genres. We can go through this quickly. The first is fiction, where things are not true. And the second is nonfiction, where things are true. Okay? And then we know we can actually take this out. We know that. Okay? Good. So when we talk about myths, let's go ahead and review what we talked about yesterday. Myths explain how the world works, how we should treat each other, and then I'm actually going to take this out. And so we know that in myths, we have gods, goddesses, kings, queens, princesses, and princes. Okay? As the characters. All right, let's move on to fables. Fables are actually like my favorite, between like a fable and like a fairy tale or fantasy. Because I love it when animals talk. I think it's so cute. So fables have talking animals, and they give a moral or lesson at the end of the story. And last but not least, we have tall tales. And a tall tale is when we exaggerate the truth about a character. Okay? It has some facts in there, but it's just exaggerated to the point where you know that it cannot happen in real life. Okay? I'm sorry, guys, but I have to spray some more of this perfume because it just sprays. It just smells so good. Spray. Okay. Cool. Woo. All right. Let's keep on going. So now we have the model. We're going to read the story, of course, and try to figure out what the genre is, ladies and gentlemen. So we have to figure out, is it a fable? Is it a tall tale? Is it a myth? And so while we are reading these, we have to pick out the clues. You can't just read something and not pick out the clues. Are you crazy? Okay, let's keep on going. All right. In a field, that is our setting. In a field one summer's day. I have to be able to get this to work. And actually, this is actually the same one that we did yesterday, right? So let's just go ahead and keep going with it. Yeah, let's just keep going with it. This is the same one that we did yesterday, which is okay. I didn't realize that I put the same one in there, but since we're already on the video, I Actually, I might change it since the video's